first house I lived in was at Leading Creek.
All right.
We moved there when I was about, I would guess about 3 years old.
You remember?
I remember thinking Lucille and Jennings lived there. They lived across the river. And I was thinking that Lucille and Jennings lived there. And we lived there till I was in 4th grade.
Okay, so what was life like when you were living there?
Oh, Virgil and I kept the chickens out of the yard. We had to clip their wings.
Did you go to, and you started school on Leading Creek.
Yeah. Well, I went to Tanner School the first year.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went to, Willard started at Glenville that year. He was the first one to graduate from Glenville. And I went to Glenville the second grade. And I graduated from Glenville.
You moved there when you were 5?
3.
3.
I think 3.
So that would mean I would have been 9. We're 6 years apart, aren't we?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember moving there?
Oh, yeah.
Where did you live before that?
Down to Tanner.
Tanner, but I don't even remember that.
But Wilma, I remember Wilma living with us there while Foster was in service.
Okay.
And Ron Dean was born there.
At home?
At home. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The lady that delivered him came out. He said he weighed 10 pounds. And he said, "My God, he should have come a walking."
He weighed 10 pounds from Wilma?
She said he weighed 10 pounds.
I thought it was 12.
Man, I thought 10.
So she lived there while she was pregnant and she delivered. Do you remember the delivery, or were you sent away?
We were sent away up on the hill to work in the hay.
But I remember he was an awful big baby. Mauled somebody.
That's Maud. That's delivered.
Yeah. And what did she say?
My God, he should have come a walking.
Yeah. Because we weren't used to that. We weren't used to having that kind of language. And I was real impressed with her saying something like that. We're not supposed to say that.
No one ever used bad language at home?
Oh no. No, I think when the boys were out in the field, I gather from things that Virgil said that my dad did swear something out in the field with the boys, but I never heard anything like that. Never.
Was that because it was against your religion? I mean, you didn't go to church much.
It wasn't religion, it was just good, healthy living. Just moral. It was important. It was very important when we were growing up. What kind of character we were
We
doing.
went to church on Leading Creek. We went down to that church there to go.
Once in a while.
We went pretty regularly. Yeah, we went to their Christmas programs and had parts in those.
Yeah, for a while. Yeah.
Then
I
we
don't
went to-
know. I don't know how long we lived
Then we went,
there.
then we went to, well, we moved there when I was in 4th grade. We moved there, we left there in 47. Early 46. Sheila and Linda and Janet, somebody else. Anyway, they were born that all the same year. And I remember carrying them up and down the road, putting them to sleep. And they were born in 47. So we moved somewhere prior to that. So I'm saying they were early. Well, they were all,
On Panther.
yeah.
47, so I was born in 32, so I would have been 15.
You should remember that.
I've often wondered when we moved up on Painter, because I don't think I ever knew what year we moved there.
It was early 46 or early 47 or late 46 because the kids were born. Sheila was born in September. Janet was born in September. Sheila was born in October. And who else was born that year? I can't think now. But anyway, I used to carry them up and down the road to put them to sleep. And I was about 9 years old.
Probably Nancy or Linda.
Linda and Sheila and Janet, yeah. And I was 16 when we moved to Sand Fork. After Don was a kid.
Okay.
And that's the first time we ever had a bathroom.
Ah!
And that was the year I had Sue because Sue's born on your birthday, on your 16th birthday.
I love that house on Sand Fork.
You like that back room where all the dancing ladies were?
I loved everything about that room. You know, to this day, when I can't sleep at night, I walk myself through that house. And by the time I get upstairs, I'm asleep.
Well, that house. Did you ever read the poem that Roger wrote about that house?
I don't know.
That's what I was looking for a while ago. In that bag, I thought sure it was. And he's talking about going back to that house and how much smaller everything was when he used to go to it. It was a big
Oh,
house.
still, you got a bug on you.
But I guess my most vivid memories is when we lived on Painter. If I was 15.
Yeah, that's probably when you would.
And 15, you're probably just going into high school. And the thing that I remember about moving, did we go to Glenville schools when we lived on down below Glenville? Did we go to Glenville school? We went to Tanner school.
I went to Tanner School my first year, then Willard moved to Glenville. Went to Glenville High School, so we all went to Glenville. So however far along behind Willard you were.
Nice walk in your woods.
You could decide where you wanted to go to school?
Did we decide? I don't know.
I guess maybe on the border or something. Because
Yeah.
I guess I remember going down on that bus, getting on that bus on below Glenville and riding all the way to Tanner on the school bus because it was the longest bus rides we ever had, and I ever had in my life. With all that, and Mom worried about going over all those hills between West Glenville and Tanner.
for some reason, Willard graduated from Tanner, but for some reason Willard wanted to go to Glenville. And Don wanted to go to Glenville because he wanted to play football. So that may have been the reason maybe we started going to Glenville. I don't know for sure. But Don wanted to play football. But Willard was the first one to graduate from Glenville. So however far behind Willard you were.
Willard and then Don and
Yeah, from Willard on down graduated from Glenville.
So which is the one it was Leading Creek we went up to for the tour?
Sinking Creek.
Sinking Creek? Okay.
that's when we talk about Painter. That's when Virgil has in his new book, My Life on Panther Run.
So that's Sinking Creek.
Yeah, that's Sinking Creek, and then when you get up there and turn off, that's Panther Run.
We left Leading Creek and went to
Sinking Creek. And then Sand Fork.
Leading Creek was where the arrowheads were, and
Yeah.
down by the river where the
Up on the hill, they could get
Yeah,
arrowheads out of
okay.
when they plowed the fields up on the hill.
yeah. So we
There's
sort
supposed
of,
to be an Indian mound up there.
right. I remember going up there.
And there were arrowheads around.
Yeah. Because that was sort of close to a main route.
Yeah, Route 5.
Yes.
Route 5.
Well, I don't know how old I was when I moved to go to Glenville school, but I was old enough to think that my name had been Mary Smith for all these years, and it's not much plainer than that. So I decided it was a good time to change to Louise. So when I introduced myself as Louise, that's why this people know me as Mary, this people knows me as Louise, and this people knows me as Mary Louise. Because
When did you put it back together as Mary Louise? When did you go back to Mary Louise?
When we came to Ohio, I think, after we were married.
Huh. Because Dad always called you Louise.
Helen calls me Louise.
I don't think I've ever heard Dad call you Mary.
No. And all of the Starretts.
Well, nobody of us called. Ford called her Mary Louise.
Ford called her Mary.
Yeah. And
Floyd.
the rest of us, I think the rest of us call her Louise. I think Dean and Virgil and I called her Louise. I think I'm not sure what Don called
I
her.
don't know,
can't
but I know
remember.
Dean Virgil and Loretta always called me Louise, and all of Ken's people, Mary Lou, and all, it was always Aunt Mary and Sheila. I'm still Aunt Mary to Sheila.
And I think to Grandma you were always Mary. Did she ever call you Louise? I don't remember Grandma calling you Louise. She called you Mary.
See, she was named after her two grandmothers.
Mm.
Mom's mother's name was Mary.
Mary Brown.
Yeah, Mary Brown, and my dad's mother's name was Louise.
You know,
Louisa, actually Louisa, but they call her Louise.
you know, Colleen named her daughter after two grandmothers,
Yeah.
Esther and Louise.
Yeah.
So we call her Essie Lou.
Aw, that's cool. Esther and Louise.
What do you remember about your grandparents?
I remember that my grandpa Smith was just as white-headed as he could be, a big man and white-headed. And he sat on the front porch and watched the ground squirrels across the road, and that's all I remember about him.
That was Hannigan's dad.
Mm-hmm. He had he had a head of hair, and it was real white. And that's all I remember about him.
Was Grandpa Hecker?
No, Grandpa Smith.
Grandpa Smith was the one Grandma and Grandpa Smith lived with us when we lived on below Glenville.
Meaty Creek.
And they were apparently having dementia. Oh, after Grandpa died, Grandma was in that room right down at the bottom of the steps when you came downstairs, and there was their room, and you weren't allowed to go in there. But I went in there when I had scarlet fever. I was quarantined. That was before they came to live with me. I was quarantined because I had
scarlet fever at Tanner.
No, I had it right there on.
Are you sure?
No. I'm not sure about it.
She doesn't have a very good memory. You have a way better memory.
I think you were at Tanner because I think Lake and Paige was still home, and they brought food
No,
in.
Paige came and looked in the window at me when
That was at Tanner.
I thought it was.
I'm pretty sure it was Tanner. Okay.
But anyway, when Grandpa Smith died, Grandma Smith, they both lived with us, and she's there by herself, and she was apparently going into dementia.
But she got lost on the trail.
No.
And she would
Had an Eagle
accuse
Scout.
us of all kinds of things.
Yeah.
She would lose her hairbrush, and she knew that those kids came in there and took it. Mom would go in and look around, and she'd finally find it between her mattress and something like that.
Now, who is this? Grandma Smith?
Grandma Smith.
Grandma Smith. And my mom would go in and find it. She knew we didn't take it. She knew we were in there.
She'd mess all over the floor. She said, "There's kids in here messing all over my floor."
But Grandma took care of her?
Mm-hmm.
And Grandma
What's her mother-in-law?
She left. She left before she died and went to live with Uncle Jude, her son.
Oh, Grandma Heckert, I don't remember, but I always heard that she was a much nicer, pleasant person than Grandma Smith was.
You don't remember her?
Oh no, she died when Juanita was little.
I've heard good reports about her, but I don't remember her. That's when
Grandpa Heckert died when Juanita was little. I remember going to Grandma Heckert's reunion. We weren't allowed to go. We stayed at the house. Somebody stayed at the house with us. We were little. We weren't allowed to go to the funeral, but we went to I remember going there to the funeral. But Grandpa Heckert died when Juanita was 80.
And we moved from off of Leading Creek into Cedar Creek. And it's like as far up a hollow as you could stick a butcher knife. When we heard a car coming, we knew it was company for us.
When she heard that Model A coming, she knew who it was.
Her boyfriend.
And we weren't allowed to wear shorts. Girls weren't allowed to wear shorts. But we were allowed to wear them up in that hollow away from everything. But as soon as we heard a car coming, you better run and get a dress on right away because we're having company.
Just coming up that far, we knew we was having company.
Oh my goodness.
Did you have much company?
We had a lot of company, but it's mostly family.
Mm-hmm.
We've never been able to figure out that there was one Christmas and we're still quite a few kids at home. And William Foster came in with their family for Christmas, and I don't know who else was there. We never have been able to figure out how we ever slept.
I don't know how we ever slept everybody.
It snowed, and they got snowbound up there, and we don't know where in the world we put sleeping. There was
Foster Don had to ride the horses out to get groceries or something.
Mhm. Down to that
But it was over my head. I mean, they had a trench to have the. Of course, I was little then, but it was over my head. It was a trench to the barn.
Oh my goodness.
But I think Juanita and Bob was there.
Yeah, well, I think one he was there.
Paige and Betty. I think Paige and Betty was there.
It snowed, and nobody could get out. And
It
Virgil
snowed
and I
down.
have thought about it 100 times. Where in the world do we put everybody? Because there was a cellar. You go through the kitchen and up to the cellar. There's 2 bedrooms upstairs. There's 2 bedrooms downstairs. And there must have been at least 15 or 20 people there for several days. And we must have slept on the floor, but I don't ever remember sleeping on the floor.
There's 2 bedrooms upstairs. A room upstairs.
Virgil told me to bring this over and give it to Louise.
All right.
Why do I get lucky?
I'll take her. I'll take him if nobody wants him. If you want him, you can have him.
There was two double beds in one bedroom upstairs, a double bed and a single bed in the other bedroom upstairs, and then downstairs in the other bedroom there were 2 double beds, and then Pop and Mom's room. So I don't know where everybody
Good little
slept,
boy.
because we didn't have a couch that pulled out or anything.
Well, it's just like reunions. How many people did we sleep over in there at Sand Fork? I
Did
mean,
your job.
you count up how many people slept in those
I've got
bedrooms.
bubbles in it and tread.
Whole
There was a lot
families.
of bedrooms there.
And there's a lot of little kids.
Yeah, it's,
Yep.
there was another bubble.
There's,
Yeah, there's one
dance-
bubble.
Well,
in
that's
there.
true,
There's dancing Japanese
And a bunch of
women.
trash.
That's right.
Because they would bring their playpans and
that's all
portable
they
cribs
like
and that
to
kind of stuff, and the kids slept in the rooms with them.
Mhm.
A couple were, 2 couples would sleep in the same room.
And campers.
Penny and I always slept in that little tiny room.
That
That was
little
Virgil's
tiny
room.
room. Yes, Virgil's room.
That was our room for
I liked
years.
that room. I thought it was cozy.
But
You could see
there
out
was
the
2 of us in that little
Yes.
twin bed in that
You know
room.
what? And you never even knew it. You know, it's just like that.
And
was,
no air conditioning.
no air conditioning.
I don't even think we had screens.
I don't remember
I
that.
think we had screens.
Screens?
We didn't at Sinking Creek. We had no screens on the windows of Sinking Creek. The flies would all come
Yeah.
in,
Oh my.
and you chase them all. Get it on Saturday. You get them all and shoo them all in one room and spray them and sweep up the dead flies. I don't know how we ever survived.
I don't remember being that hot. Do you?
No.
I do.
Do ya? I don't remember it. But
I
I think
also
kids
remember
sorta,
that Paige bringing fireworks in and the firework going straight
Yeah,
up the
yeah.
box, and the whole box blown up.
I remember that. I remember the year Bob
what?
broke his leg going down the front steps
Yeah.
slide too. And going back in Paige's station wagon with his leg broken and get it treated up here in Ohio. Yeah.
You slept in the room that had Uncle Bob's picture in it.
No, I mean I have, but mostly Penny and I slept in that little
That little
room of
that
Virgil's.
was Virgil's.
Oh, okay.
Nobody liked to sleep in that room with Uncle Bob.
I know,
No, that was a creepy room.
but I think I probably slept in every single one
Oh,
of
I
those
know
rooms.
I have too at some point.
Yeah.
Most of the time, it seemed like our family mostly had the front bedroom,
Mhm.
the one that was all the way in the very front. That seemed to be Mom and Dad's room. Because I can remember having.
That was my
sleeping
bedroom
bags on
because
the
you
floor.
kicked me out then.
Was that your bedroom? Okay, that was it. That's where they slept most
At
of the time.
one time, it was Willard's bedroom. When he was in college, I think that was Willard's bedroom,
Oh,
and I had that middle one.
Okay,
And then when he left, I took that one.
okay.
And then who had that one that was right at the top of the steps?
To the right.
There
That's
was-
what I'm talking about. the
Oh,
middle-
there were 2 bedrooms back, 1 or 2 bedrooms back that hallway.
Well, there was, when you came up the steps, there was one that you walked into that I
To the-
thought had the creepy
You had to go
picture.
through. You had to go through one bedroom to get the other.
But
one.
there was
there
a-
was another one that was in
Down the hallway.
No,
Oh,
it came up the steps.
they
Came-
were connected to each other. You
No,
had to go through
you
the
come
ledge.
you come up the steps, and there was that big
Yeah.
cedar chest of blankets.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then there was a bedroom right there.
That was
Okay,
that little
that-
bedroom.
No, it was
No,
a.
no, it was the one my mom and dad slept.
Yes.
Well,
It was
there's
in
one
the
to
very
the
front
right.
of the house.
Then there was a little
Yeah.
bedroom towards the front of the house.
Yeah.
And then there was another bedroom here, and then there was a bedroom where you started walking through bedrooms.
Yes,
Yeah.
right, right,
Mhm.
right.
On the left there were the bedrooms that you walk through the other bedroom to get to another bedroom. And then beyond that was a Chinese lady, just
Chinese.
above the kitchen.
Yeah, you had to walk through all those rooms. They were all connected.
They were all connected.
Not the front one wasn't.
Those three were.
Yeah, they
The
were all
three.
the three. The
Right.
three were connected.
Yeah.
The three were.
So much for privacy. And then they had the white owls in the bedrooms at nighttime too.
Yeah.
And
I
the
remember
chamber pots.
The chamber pots. Yeah, they called them white owls. Yeah.
I got up one night when I was in high school. We just had me back living on Sinky Creek. Got up to go to the bathroom, and I sat down in the pot. A wasp was on it.
Oh.
I got back up just about as quick as I sat down.
Oh my goodness.
Oh.
'Cause I
Dad talks
didn't have a light or anything. I didn't know it was on there.
But Dad talks about one of the grandmas that went into the outhouse and there was a snake that came down out of the rafter right above her head, and she came out with her bloomers still down. And I don't remember which grandma it was, but the rat snake, I guess, was in the outhouse.
You won the room there called your mom always slept in. That's one Ken and I always slept in when we went there.
Okay.
That was
Your room
you
too.
Walk right into the
Yep.
top of the steps.
Yep. Okay. To the right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
I remember us having that middle room a lot. You know, that there was the first room and then the room that was connected, the middle room.
Yeah.
We had that room a lot when I was
Did
little.
Yeah, I think you did too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then
I was like the
Okay,
back
where did I
bedroom.
sleep? Where did I
Yeah.
sleep?
I
when you
know.
guys
Went into
were-
the
I don't
kitchen.
know
One
where
had
you.
the
you were-
stairways down to the
Yeah,
kitchen.
You were
kitchen.
married by the time
It
I
had
could
the-
remember.
Had
Yes.
the
The dancing.
Japanese
I don't
women that
remember-
would come alive and dance at
Yeah.
night. At least
You
that's what the
being
older
living at
cousins
that
always told
house
us.
when I would come
Yeah,
to
I like
visit.
that bedroom too.
I didn't get married till 61.
I was only 54. I was only 6, so I don't remember much. I don't remember you living in that house when I came to visit. You must have, but I just don't remember it.
I don't remember that either. I only remember from reunions, you know, going down there. I don't remember any of you actually living there except Grandma and Grandpa, but that had to have been the case.
You don't remember the reunions at Sem Fork up above Glenville?
No, I don't remember any of that.
You don't?
The ones at Sand Fork.
Oh, at Sand
Yes,
Fork.
Sand
Yeah,
Fork,
yeah, yeah.
All of those I remember the reunions, but
Yeah.
I don't remember any of you kids still living there.
Oh, okay.
You had already
Oh,
left.
no.
It was just Grandma
no,
and Grandpa
No,
living
because
there.
when they moved in there, Sue was just a baby. That's when I had the accident, taking her down to help move, and we had an accident on the way down there. The first time I ever took a trip by myself.
Oh no.
It wasn't serious, but we went on. We were going down to help Mom get settled in.
They're getting burned. They were.
There's a lot of radiation going out here.
I'll show you a picture of a friend of mine, her burn that she got.